Tonight on CTV, we bring you more from the Jewish community's reaction at the ASCSU meeting last night.
Then President Trump hints at a nationwide vape ban.
And finally, weed reform is making its way through Congress. All this and more on CTV 11.
Good evening, Rams, and thank you for joining us. I'm Bella Roberts.
And I'm Lauren Orcutt. You know, Bella, these past few weeks, the university has seen acts of racism and now anti-Semitism. Last week, the Associated Students of CSU Senate meeting was filled with students who spoke in regards to the blackface photo. Last night, more students of the Jewish community came to speak in regards to the swastika that was carved into a door in Aggie Village. The ASCSU meeting this week looked a lot like the previous meeting, where students filled the room in hopes to share their voices on a recent act of anti-Semitism on campus. Just last Friday, President McConnell sent out an email telling the university about a swastika that was carved into a door in Aggie Village. But students felt like it wasn't enough.
We're all too familiar with the thoughts and prayers style emails that come out from the administration, and then the next week campus kind of starts to forget about the events unless they happen to you or a friend directly.
Members of the community also spoke at the meeting with intentions to encourage change.
I'm proud of you guys for being here, but you really need to come together and come up with a plan.
The resolution presented during the meeting requests that the university revises the code of conduct, prioritize enforceable policies that would include disciplinary measures to prevent reoccurrences of hate crimes, including anti-Semitism. However, students still seem hesitant that something will be done about this issue.
That someone could vandalize the inside of a secured access facility, and there is no accountability. There is, how do we not know who did this?
In the meantime, they can assure the university that their hope for change isn't going anywhere.
So we will not stop talking to our peers, our administration, meeting with President McConnell, or fighting for all students on this campus until some serious changes are made. Thank you.
For more information regarding the status of the resolution, follow us on Twitter at CTV11.
Over the weekend, Larimer County Sheriff Justin Smith criticized the university for a photo it published last week of the Not Proud to Be protest that took place at the president's fall address. Smith criticized the image for a sign that was held which he claimed was advocating for the murder of police officers. According to the Coloradoan, the creator titled his work Crosshairs Logo had a piece in Rolling Stones magazine back in 2014 where he explained that the image depicts a black man in the crosshairs of a gun scope. As of today, CSU still has the image on their Instagram post, even though Smith said in his post that the university had pulled down the image.
5 high schools in northern Colorado have been investigating threats that have been made, including 2 schools here in Fort Collins. According to the Coloradoan, Rocky Mountain and Fort Collins high schools were both investigating threats. In Fort Collins High School, a student had made a threat during class. A student at Rocky Mountain High School actually made a threat of violence at the school. The student was cited for interference of staff, faculty, or students at an educational institution, which is a Class 1 misdemeanor.
Colorado has reported more than 6 vaping-related illnesses in the state, and the epidemic has caught the attention of the Trump administration. The administration says it plans to take action by getting the Food and Drug Administration involved. According to the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, the Trump administration is trying to combat youth e-cigarette use by clearing the market of flavored e-cigarettes.
Yeah, well, I mean, if regular cigarettes aren't banned yet, I don't understand how, e-cigarettes have to be banned.
The CDC reports there has been 805 cases of lung injury and 12 deaths in the U.S. They can't confirm the specific cause, but can report each case has a history of e-cigarette and vaping use.
So I've known a lot of people personally that have had issues with cigarettes and nicotine, especially nowadays. And I know that with the way society is now, it's definitely a big issue. So Personally, I mean, you can make your own decisions, but I do feel like the ban is going to be a positive impact, so I agree with it.
Mint, menthol, and fruit flavors will be included in the flavors that will no longer be sold.
Not only super annoying for those of us who don't, because you'll get a whole blast of just fruit flavored stuff in your face. If it has nicotine in it, it smells horrible, and it can be addictive from what I know, and I am fine with him banning them.
The FDA hopes to finalize a compliance policy in the coming weeks.
But I'm also a little bit more leaning towards like the government shouldn't necessarily be regulating everything, and I don't know where I stand on like whether or not they should regulate vaping.
No, because like I've been trying to quit for a while, so if they get banned, I'll probably just end up quitting. So that might be good.
For more information, you can visit cdc.gov.
The U.S. House of Representatives passed a bill yesterday that would allow marijuana businesses to have access to banking when they previously could not. The Secure and Fair Enforcement Act, also known as the Safe Banking Act, would protect businesses and banks to work together in states where marijuana is legal. Colorado Representative L. Perlmutter co-sponsored the bill that passed 321 to 103. Ken Douglas and Doug Lamborn were the only two from Colorado delegation that voted against the measure. A similar bill, which now heads to the Senate for a vote, is also co-sponsored by Republican Senator Cory Gardner. This comes after the Colorado and other states have urged the federal government for marijuana reform.
Drought has made its way back into Colorado. Let's head over to weather anchor James Hall for more.
That's right, Bella. This summer, Colorado has a 14-week period where it remained drought-free across the state. The streak did end in late August, though, with the lack of the monsoon season this year. According to the drought monitor that was released today, just over 65% of Colorado is now facing abnormally dry conditions, and around 10% facing a moderate drought. But stay tuned after the break, and I'll let you know if we will see any of that wetter weather we are hoping for.
Last week, thousands of young people across the country took to the streets to demand action on climate change. Denver's climate change strike took place last week, which drew over 7,000 people. Fort Collins will also hold a climate strike tomorrow at 5:30 in the afternoon, which culminates after a week-long climate action week that began on September 21st.
Last week, Turning Point USA announced that Donald Trump Jr. and Charlie Kirk will be coming to campus next month. Many will recall that the last time Kirk was on campus was back in 2018 when white supremacist groups and Antifa clashed on campus. The event with Kirk will take place on October 22nd as part of their Culture War tour.
The Colorado Department of Transportation is partnering with multiple agencies across northern Colorado. The task force called Remove All Impaired Drivers, also known as RAID, is a new task force that aims to reduce impaired driving. CDOT and police officers from Loveland, Windsor, and Larimer County will be working together to keep impaired drivers off the road.
There is a proposed 6-story hotel to be built on the southern end of campus. The hotel is planned to be built at the corner of Prospect and College, right across from the CSU Health Center. According to the Coloradoan, if the hotel is built, it would be branded as a Marriott and would replace the Chuck E. Cheese. The city of Fort Collins would still need to approve the development, and if approved, construction could start in the spring. Well, that's all we have for news tonight.
But don't go away just yet. James Hall will let us know what kind of temperatures to expect this weekend.